Come in, Dr. Akili Graham Muhammad, our man that's handling the entire medical end of the Jay DeLay Show. He's got all the questions solved. Doc, you're on the move. You're moving around. I understand. I thank you. I heard you're in your medical classes, taking your classes and doing all your stuff this week. But I thank you for taking time out and being a part of the show with us. Thank you, brother.
Well, thank you for having me, bro. Again, thank you for the platform, the J&J Show.
Oh, man, please. We right here. We right here, baby. We're not going anywhere. So, Doc, let's jump right into it. I know you're busy. Let's jump into it. Doc, the medical companies, the insurance companies, when you go and you find a doctor, they send you a book like the Bible, and you got to thumb through it, and there's 11 million doctors. And you're sitting here looking at like, what the hell? How am I supposed to... I will be honest. You know what I did before? I looked for a black doctor. I looked for a black doctor because by and large I felt like, well, man, he's a black doctor, so he'll probably understand my needs. I could be wrong. Let's talk about that today, Doc.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, bro, because I think whenever a person is going to sit down with somebody and put your life in somebody's hands and tell your secrets and your dark issues that you really don't want to share with other people or you're embarrassed about, that person should be somebody that you can relate to and you can trust. So the first thing that I would say is that if you're a black person in America, that is the first step, is to find you a black doctor, because there have been plenty of studies done in the medical community that say that people are best taken care of by people who understand them culturally. There's an automatic understanding in some avenues. Of course, there have to be some questions and some inquiries on certain things, but in general, when you have some commonalities with a person, it automatically gives you a step up in the right direction.
Okay.
That would be the first thing. My second thing would be this. I'm sitting in a room with thousands of doctors and nurse practitioners and people that are PAs that take care of people on a daily basis.
Sure.
And I also want everybody to take another aspect in consideration, and that is, if you had a friend who was a plumber and you went over to their house and their house was full of water, you probably wouldn't invite that person to come take care of your house. If you went over to a friend's house who was an electrician and his house was always dark, you probably wouldn't invite him to your house to fix your house. If you had a mechanic friend whose car is always broken down, you probably wouldn't invite him to come fix your car. So please make sure, and of course, cite the first vision of a person is not necessarily always the evaluator of their health.
Okay.
But if you have a fat doctor, that's not a person that can help you go in the right direction. Fat, and I'm not trying to knock fat people, but fat is associated with disease. And I'm saying that because of this. I'm sitting in a room of all these doctors and all these people who take care of people, and I am completely disenfranchised by what they look like. Because, see, you all don't hear the conversations that I hear from doctors. You don't get, that type of reality to be amongst other doctors when they're sitting around talking about the fact that they can't even keep up a exercise regimen. They can't resist the things that they like. They don't know how to lose weight. I'm telling you all what I hear people say. Not only my personal friends that are doctors, but when I'm walking around these type of people, when I come to these type of classes a few times a year.
Okay.
They don't know how to help you because they can't help themselves. And if they know how to help you, but they don't know how to apply it to themselves, how can they really be a good leader of you going in the right direction? I'm saying these things because that's what you have to take in consideration. There also should be some questions that you ask this person.
And that's where I wanted to go next. That's where I wanted to go next, Doc, to find out now, okay, we see that. Some people, you put it bluntly, some people might not, some people, and I've had inboxes, oh my God, Dr. Akili tells it so real, maybe he should think about how he said, for what? He tells it real, and if you can't deal with it real, go to somebody else. I openly welcome. I'm not twisting your arm. I love for you to listen, and I want you to listen, but I'm not going to twist your arm to listen. And if you don't like it, right here, you don't like it right there, I'm sorry. Then you can go be lied to elsewhere. I got a group of brothers around me, group of brothers and sisters around me that believe in dealing in truth, standing on truth. And this is one of the greatest things that God has blessed me to find And then our brother in the medical field, I'm telling you, he's going to give it to you real, and that's what it is. Doc, I was going there next. What are the questions that we should ask? If I already, feel funny, but I'm sitting there and, a lot of people feel like insurance, like the doctor's doing you a favor. No.
Yeah.
No, he's not doing you a favor. So speak to that, Doc. And also, when you realize that, just like you're really interviewing him, as he's looking at you, you're looking at him. You can refuse refusal of service as well and go to somewhere else.
Right.
So talk to that and then speak to the questions that we should be asking. It's a Jay DeLay show. Dr. Akili Graham Muhammad is live on Take Charge Thursday. Go ahead, Doc.
Yes, sir. Well, the first thing that I would say to the person who made the comment is that I have made a decision in my life to speak the way that I do because I don't know if I'm going to have another opportunity to get to somebody's ear. Because of the fact that I've spent 21 years in the industry that I know is not the best for people. There are some good aspects to the medical industry. I'm not going to sit here and try to bash the whole reality. But there are a lot of aspects of the medical community that lives off of our ignorance. And so if some people get angry at me at the way I say things, I have to accept that because I can't afford for anybody to ever say that I led them in the wrong direction, that I lied to them, or that I played the middle of the fence.
There you go.
Just talk about when you play in the middle of the fence. God doesn't like those type of people. I'm trying to get in good graces with God first before I try to please any person. So the second thing that I would say is this. When you go to a doctor, you are in charge. The doctor is not in charge. And I promise most of you that are listening probably have it twisted the other way around. You go and you feel intimidated by this person. You feel like they are the ones that you have to cater to. No, you have to change that within your own mind and your own being. When you walk into a doctor's office, you should feel the same way as when you walk into a car dealership. Same way you walk into a furniture store. Same way you walk in anywhere. You have to ask some questions, get the type of answers that you need so you can make a good decision. You don't walk in the door and let somebody start dictating to you. And let me use an example. I know quite a few people who have decided that they don't want to immunize their children.
Okay.
So they walk into these doctors' offices, and these doctors start going off on them about what you have to do, and if you're going to be a part of this practice, you have to do what I say. Hey, well, that's a good time to get up and walk right out, right in the middle of why they talking, and immediately call your insurance company and tell them, I was not pleased with this service, and I do not want to pay this doctor. That's how much in charge you are, but you all just don't know that.
Really?
So, you are in absolute control. And if you decide that you don't want to pay a doctor for her services because they did not meet your needs, they will not pay that doctor. But most people don't know that, and that's why doctors act like behinds with people and act like they're superior and act like they are from some exalted place, and all of us are just walking around on the damn dirt. So, again, when we're talking about the type of questions that you should ask when you go to a doctor, the first one should be, what is your philosophy? I'm talking about as a personal person. If you're the type of person who knows or is the type of person whose life has been that you are going to enjoy life and you're going to do things that you want to do and you want to take a pill to solve your problem, then go to the doctor and make sure that his philosophy meets with yours.
Okay.
If you're the type of person that says, I would rather have some advice from my doctor on what are some things that I can do to solve these problems, then that's the type of conversation you have the first day you go there. When you sit in front of that doctor, you say, I don't want to have an office visit for a medical problem. I want to have a consultation on whether you're the type of doctor that I need to take care of me. That's the first thing you should do. And most people don't know the difference between an office visit and a consultation, that you're getting to know this doctor to figure out whether or not they're right for you. So let's say that somebody on this call comes from a meat-eating family.
Okay.
And you had one cousin that became a vegetarian. You saw them lose weight, and all their medical problems went away, and they started doing a lot better. And so you say, you know what, I want to find me a doctor that's going to help me go in that direction. So the first day when you sit down with this consultation with this doctor, you should ask him, do you know how to help me build a vegetarian diet since I'm interested in coming off meat? The honest truth is that most doctors can't do that because they don't know anything about nutrition. Well, I can send you to a nutritionist. Well, what if I want the information from you as my doctor? Well, I don't know anything about nutrition. Well, there you just got your answer. But here are some very specific questions that you can ask your doctor just in general. Because none of you take in consideration where a person went to school, what their grades were and whether they passed all their tests and boards or not. That's irrelevant. What you want to know is, can they help you get where you want to be? So if you're a person that is in good health, or you think you're in pretty good health, you don't have any problems, some questions you could ask is, doctor, do you think you could help me maintain a set of healthy standards where I will not become sick like my parents, like my grandparents, like my uncles and aunts? Doctor, do you know how to help me make the right choices with foods so that I can maintain the weight that I am now and not gain weight like I'm watching most other people around me? Doctor, are you the type of doctor that will help me try to solve problems rather than give me a prescription for any problem that I have? Doctor, are you the type of person that if I come in with information about what I think is going on with me, or if you diagnose me with something and I go find other information and come over and discuss it, are you open to have discussions with me when it comes to my health based on information that I learned, that I've heard, that I've experienced? And so I think those may be just four that if people use those, you'll get some very, very serious answers to use as your foundation. And if a doctor isn't interested in having any conversation with you like that, then you know there are many other doctors probably in your city or your area that you can go choose and start using the same type of critique with your doctor that you use with every other aspect of your life when you have to make decisions.
Hey, Doc, question. Dr. Keely Graham Muhammad. It's Take Charge Thursday on the Jay DeLay Show. And Brother Jamil, if you have a question, you can, question, you can go ahead because I'm trying to pull up these inboxes. I got a couple of messages from the inbox.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Akili, as usual, always very informative and very inspiring as well. I'm seeing in the comment section that many of our viewers do not know or did not know until this morning that they had
Jay,
power
is Jamil saying
decision making.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Company.
I'm sorry. I wish Jamil. Jamil.
I can't hear him.
He can't hear Jamil. Okay, they're working on it. Jamil, what did you want to say? I'll relay it to Doc until we can get that.
Just let him know, and thank you, interns. I appreciate y'all. But just let him know that I wanted to thank him for inspiring us and ask him to tell us more about the power that we have with the insurance companies relative to our doctors.
Doc, he was saying thank you.
I didn't know that, and many people didn't know that.
He said thank you for the inspiration, and also many people. He wanted you to speak more to the power. Yeah, he pushed the button, Yolanda. He did something, and that's exactly what the intern said. What did he push? Dr. Akili, he wanted to know about the power that people have with these insurance companies because you hear so much about it. I mean, you're paying for it each month, but people don't realize the power that they have. Can you speak to that? Can you speak to that just a little bit about the power that people have in terms of when you're dealing with insurance companies?
Yes, sir. Well, the honest truth is that most of us, when we sign contracts, we don't read the whole contract. We read a couple of sections, or we read until we get tired, and we sign. And so I would say to everybody who has insurance, you should find some time to take your time and read through it, because your contract with your insurance company tells you what kind of power you have, and it tells you what kind of power the doctor has, and it tells you what kind of power the insurance company has. But just to make it short, everything that you pay for in your life, you have some power in. And unfortunately, in general, most people are ignorant to a lot of information in other aspects of society, but very informed in their own. For instance, a person who sells homes and does real estate, things like that, you could sit down with them and they can tell you about real estate, the power is, and this and that, all these different laws, tax breaks, right? They can tell you so much information. Well, it's the same with everything. If you go and you purchase a car, you know that when you drive that car off of that lot, it automatically depreciates. But there still are some avenues that you have in order to take care of that car if something goes wrong. And so it's the same with insurance companies. You have the right not only to choose your doctor, but you have the right to change your doctor whenever you get a chance to. And just like most other aspects in society, we do not make our critiques or our criticisms known. You can go to a grocery store and ask for certain things to be included in the grocery store. You can go to grocery stores and say that you want certain things to be removed because they're bad.
Sure.
It takes a certain number of people in order for that to happen. But it's the same thing in the medical field. If enough people would go and complain about some of these doctors that act like idiots, the insurance companies might drop them. And then they wouldn't treat somebody else like that. But if you go and you get treated unfairly or improperly by a doctor and you don't say anything about it, then who's going to know other than you and the people that you talk to? So, yes, people have a lot of power because you are paying for your insurance. And every month you send them money. And so everything else in your life that you spend money to, you want some accountability. If you buy a plan for your phone and you're spending $45 a month, but the only time your phone works is in your house, and when you go out of your house, it doesn't work, how long is it going to take you to go down to the phone company and complain? Probably in the first couple of days.
Right.
And yet we let these doctors act the way they act. We let these doctors do things to us. And we walk out of doctors' offices and we're completely disgusted and non-satisfied. And yet we continue to go back to that doctor, or we continue to go back to that type of system where you're picking just another type of person like that one that you were dissatisfied with the first time. And so I would just suggest people to take...
And Doc, I don't mean to interrupt, Doc. I'm sorry, but what tends to happen? You think about that. If you go to a doctor and you're unsatisfied, and they really you just not happy with it, what are you going to do? You're not going to go back. So in essence, who really suffers? You don't go back to the doctor. You don't go back to your checkup. You don't want to deal with that person. You just kind of let it go, and they're constantly taking money out of your check. Think about how many times we just pay the insurance a month, or even people that are on Medicaid and things of that nature. You stop going to the doctor because you don't like who you have. Well, researching, you have to find the right doctor. You know, during this show, we call people to the carpet because you can't be lazy anymore. You can't be lazy anymore. It falls back on you. It truly does. It truly does fall back on you. Hey, Doc,